It was just another busy morning at the local coffee shop. The line stretched out the door, filled with people rushing to get their caffeine fix before work. Among them stood Sarah, a young woman in her mid-20s, looking tired and defeated. She had been job hunting for months with no luck, and today was yet another important interview. As she reached the counter, fumbling for her wallet, she realized she had left it at home in her haste to leave. Embarrassed and ready to step out of line, Sarah felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. An elderly man behind her smiled warmly and said, "Let me get that for you, dear." Before she could protest, he had already paid for her coffee. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Sarah thanked him profusely. The man simply replied, "Sometimes, we all need a little kindness. Good luck with whatever you're facing today." Those simple words and that small gesture hit Sarah like a tidal wave. As she left the coffee shop, she felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. The stranger's kindness had reminded her that she wasn't alone in her struggles, and that even the smallest acts of compassion could make a difference. Arriving at her interview, Sarah carried with her not just a cup of coffee, but also a boost of confidence. She shared the story of what had happened that morning, and to her surprise, the interviewer was visibly moved. They talked about the importance of kindness in the workplace, and how small gestures can create a positive environment. The interview turned into a genuine conversation, and Sarah felt a connection forming. A week later, Sarah received the call she had been waiting for. She got the job. The interviewer mentioned that her story about the coffee shop incident had stood out, showing her ability to appreciate and spread kindness. Sarah was overjoyed, realizing that a simple act of generosity had indirectly led to this life-changing opportunity. Inspired by the elderly man's kindness, Sarah made a promise to herself to pay it forward. She started small, holding doors open for strangers, offering sincere compliments, and helping colleagues with their workload. Each time she performed a small act of kindness, she remembered the coffee shop and smiled. As weeks turned into months, Sarah noticed a change in her workplace. Her colleagues seemed happier, more cooperative, and the overall atmosphere had improved. Her boss took notice of the positive shift and the role Sarah played in it. Before long, she was offered a promotion to team leader, a position that allowed her to further spread her philosophy of kindness. But Sarah's journey didn't stop there. She began volunteering at a local community center on weekends, inspired by her own experience of how a small gesture could change someone's life. Where she met Michael, a teenager struggling with self-confidence and direction in life. Sarah took him under her wing, offering encouragement and support. One day, Michael confided in Sarah about his dream of becoming a chef, but his fear of not being good enough. Remembering how the stranger's words had impacted her, Sarah said, "Sometimes, we all need a little kindness. Believe in yourself, and good luck with whatever you're facing." Those words resonated deeply with Michael, just as they had with Sarah months ago. Motivated by Sarah's encouragement, Michael applied for a culinary program he had always thought was out of reach. To his surprise and delight, he was accepted. Years later, when Michael opened his own restaurant, he made sure to invite Sarah as the guest of honor. As he thanked her in front of everyone, he recounted how her words and support had changed the course of his life. The story of Sarah and Michael's connection spread, touching hearts and inspiring others to perform their own acts of kindness. Local news picked up the story, and soon, a kindness challenge swept through the town. People began sharing their experiences of how small gestures had impacted their lives, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Sarah often thought back to that morning in the coffee shop. She wondered if the elderly man who bought her coffee had any idea of the impact his small gesture would have. It had not only changed her life, but had set off a chain reaction of kindness that touched countless others. As the kindness challenge gained momentum, Sarah was invited to speak at schools and community events. She shared her story, emphasizing how a simple act of buying a stranger a coffee had transformed her life and the lives of others. Her message was clear: never underestimate the power of small gestures. The movement grew beyond the town, spreading to neighboring cities and eventually gaining national attention. Sarah found herself at the center of a kindness revolution, all because of one small gesture on an ordinary morning. She realized that kindness was like a pebble thrown into a pond. The ripples could reach far beyond what we might ever see or know. Years passed, and Sarah's life had transformed in ways she could never have imagined. She had a fulfilling career, a loving family, and a sense of purpose that came from spreading kindness. But she never forgot where it all began, with a cup of coffee and a stranger's generosity. One crisp autumn morning, Sarah decided to visit the old coffee shop where her journey had started. As she stood in line, she noticed a young woman frantically searching her pockets, a look of embarrassment crossing her face. Without hesitation, Sarah stepped forward and said, "Let me get that for you, dear." As she paid for the woman's coffee, she added, "Sometimes, we all need a little kindness. Good luck with whatever you're facing today." The young woman's eyes widened in surprise and gratitude, reminding Sarah of herself all those years ago. As she watched the woman leave the shop with a new spring in her step, Sarah smiled, knowing that another small gesture might be about to change someone's life in ways they couldn't yet imagine. Sarah's story serves as a powerful reminder that in a world that can often feel cold and indifferent, the smallest acts of kindness can have the most profound impacts. It shows us that we all have the power to change someone's life, perhaps even our own, through simple gestures of compassion and understanding. So the next time you have the opportunity to show kindness, remember Sarah's story. Remember that a small gesture, be it a smile, a kind word, or even buying a stranger a coffee, has the potential to set off a chain reaction of positivity that can transform lives and communities. After all, kindness costs nothing, but its value is immeasurable. In the end, Sarah's journey teaches us that the most significant changes often start with the smallest actions. It reminds us to be mindful of the impact we can have on others, even in our most ordinary moments, because you never know, the simple kindness you show today could be the catalyst for a brighter tomorrow, not just for one person, but for many.